We often see marketing teams who do a lot of campaigns for companies and they're confused as to why they're not successful. Well, the number one reason is they never even engage sales to begin with.
Hello and welcome to Pass the Pitch. If you missed episode 1, we set the shared language, and today is where alignment becomes operational, the handoff. So welcome back. It's Anna, and I'm here with Leslie. This is episode 2 of our series, and as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about more and more the handoff component. So, Leslie, let's jump right in here. What do you see are some of the common areas or some of the common problems that we encounter when it comes to handoff? We alluded to it in the last session, but maybe a little bit more specifics.
Sure. Anna, I think first and foremost, it's just an unclear system. So when we are hearing people say, they're just not clear on what the program was, the process was, or anything associated with it, then there's automatically going to be an unclear handoff with sales and marketing. So first and foremost, you just have to make sure that system is clear and everyone's on the same page out of the gate. And I'll give a quick example. We often see marketing teams who do a lot of campaigns for companies and they're confused as to why they're not successful. Well, the number one reason is they never even engage sales to begin with to look at the messages, the program, the handoff, common terms, all of the things we talked about in the first episode. One's off doing their thing and the other's off doing their thing, and they expect them to do their thing, and it's not going to happen. It's unclear at the handoff.
Yeah, and that's it's part of, like, we talked a little bit about the blame game. But there's definitely a disconnect, especially if they're not communicating with each other as far as what to go after, right? So you want to get the sales input to be able to lead that effort. Let's talk a little bit about the framework specifically when it comes like to the handoff. And I would probably distinguish it as that there's 3 key components. You and I have talked about this before. You need to have like a 1-page handoff SLA, and typically trigger, right? Speed, rejection. Those are all key components that are going to feed into how do you hand off and where you are in the process. So when you look at trigger, this is where ICP plays a significant role. You want to make sure that you understand the signal, you understand what's being asked for. It's like I mentioned before, the checklist being requested, or there's questions that are being asked and that they want to book time with you, which is legit need. Speed. This is where you need to figure out what your window is as far as how you respond. Is it 24 hours? You mentioned 12 hours earlier, or is it 48 hours, depending on the types of services that you provide? And last but not least, the importance of rejection, which we have highlighted. And this is quick. You can put it in your CRM, 1 sentence that gives you some context that lets you know why they're rejecting from you. It could be simple things as saying that it's not a buyer, they don't have a clear problem at this time, bad data, like never should have been in front of this particular prospect, or it's not the right ICP. Leslie, from your thoughts.
I mean, right, what you just said is 1 sentence as far as how marketing learns. If they can at least put the information in the systems and understand the reason codes, because quite frankly, even going back and doing a campaign when they're not a buyer or there's not a clear problem or timing is unknown, that doesn't mean a no forever. That means maybe it's a no right now. And then what is marketing doing to then nurture those people to have the always on sales campaigns? Meaning we're nurturing so when there is a problem, we're top of mind to understand that. But if we have no data to go by, nothing in the system to be able to track, then we're playing the guessing game, and that's not good either. So making sure that people are putting in the data, the sales team, it's so important. It's not just, they have to remember, it's not just to track so leadership can pull reports and see what's happening. It's so marketing can pull reports and also see ideas for other campaigns to kind of convert those people. And Anna, you and I have learned this firsthand. Someone who may not be a buyer today, in a month, 6 months, a year, they very well will be a buyer. They hopefully will continue to progress in their career, or maybe they're going to go to a different company where they are a buyer. And if you had stayed in touch with them and in front of them, you are going to be top of mind, even if it wasn't always on digital campaigns staying in front of them. It doesn't matter. You're still building a relationship in a way with them where it keeps you top of mind.
Oh, that's excellent. And actually, a common exercise that I would often do would be that once every 2 months, I would take a look at all the rejections and the reasons for the rejections, because then it could be that the 2 months that have gone by actually can turn this into a potential opportunity. And it makes sense for you to stay top of mind with them and get back in front of them based on where they last left the conversation. When we talk about follow-ups, there's good ways to follow up and obviously not such great ways to follow up. A common pet peeve of mine is when a salesperson says, well, communicating to a prospect, well, I saw that you downloaded our guide. Do you want to spend some time together, without doing any kind of investigating as to what led to that? So I saw you downloaded the coaching checklist and spent time on a weekly deal review. Are you tightening your pipeline? Like, be more specific in how you interact with your prospects. So like that, you can get a real answer back, as opposed to them wanting to just dismiss you.
Well, and Anna, quite frankly, there's no excuse now with AI as to why you shouldn't be able to get back to them with something better follow-up wise and stronger. And to take it one step further, too, if you look at the coaching checklist and then ask very specific prompts, about that company, why would this person in this role at this company be considering this in particular, let's say? What are some reasons I could use for follow up? And take it to a level two search, perhaps look online at some trends within their industry to see, or can you tell within their company in the last X amount of time how much turnover they've had, or how many promotions they've had, or how many openings they have? You can tie it directly into data now that we didn't have before. So just taking those kind of extra steps can really help. And again, we talked about people moving up in their roles. There's AI tools now tracking that and directly feeding it into your ATS. So there's really no excuse why you should have any kind of weak follow-up.
Excellent, excellent. So, okay, as we're wrapping up episode 2, our call to action for you this week is that you build a one-page handoff SLA, and you put it in utilization within your organization. So a question for all of you in the comments is, where do your leads die most often? Before the first touch, after the first touch, or after a rejection? Thank you so much.